أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه من تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. We have reached the 17th night of Ramadan, and our reflection for today on the 17th juz is on Surah al-Anbiyāʼ and Surah al-Hajj. Surah al-Anbiyāʼ, of course, is contains the stories of the prophets in succession. And at the heart of many of those stories is the du'a made by the prophets, ﷺ. Beginning with Sayyidina Nuh, Sayyidina Ayyūb, Sayyidina Yūnus, Sayyidina Zakaria, ﷺ. All of them are making du'a from different angles, and they essentially touch on all of the different kinds of a du'a that someone might make in the course of Ramadan. We're approaching the last 10 days. This is the best time of year for us to be in a state of du'a constantly while we are fasting. The fasting, the prayer of the person who is fasting is answered. While we are in Salat al-Tarawih, while we are in all of our salawat, the prayer of the person who is in sujood is answered. After the prayers, the dubur as-salawat al-maktubat, one of the times that prayers is answered is right after the fard prayers. Wajawf al-layl, one of the best times for dua is the midst of the night, and these are the times that we're preparing to, inshallah, following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, give life to our nights. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, his dua is for Allah's aid, Allah's help after the centuries of denial that he has experienced with his people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنُوحًا إِذْ نَادَى مِنْ قَبْلُ فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. And mention Nuh alayhi salam when he called out to us and we responded to him. وَنَصَرْنَاهُ مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. We granted victory to him against the people who denied our signs. In Surah Al-Qamar, Nuh alayhi salam, he said, فَدَعَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَغْلُوبٌ فَانْتَصِرْ. Oh Allah, I have been overwhelmed. I am at the limits of my own capacity. فَانْتَصِرْ. So grant me victory from you. And we think of the people of Gaza, and without doubt, their state approximates the state of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, approximates the state of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam after Ta'if, when he calls out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, issues his complaint to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and with contentment, with submission, he says to Allah, وَلَكِنَّ عَافِيَتُكَ أَوْسَعُ لِي. Your well-being is more expansive for me. That is what I hope for. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ بِكَ عَلَيَّ غَضَبٌ فَلَا أُبَالِي. But as long as you are not angry with me, then I accept whatever it is that you have decreed. As long as you are not angry with me, I accept whatever it is that you have decreed. And we, inshallah, in these last 10 nights, should be making dua for Nasr, for our brothers and sisters in Gaza, in Sudan, and throughout the world, wherever they are going through difficulty. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be with them, and we ask Allah to grant them victory. And we remember the statement of the Prophet ﷺ that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears the prayers of the oppressed, and he promises, لَأَنْصُرَنَّكَ وَلَوْ بَعْدَ حِينٍ. I indeed, without doubt, will give you victory, even if it comes after a period of time. And so our certainty is in Allah's Nasr, and the timing of that is in the knowledge of the one who has all wisdom and who has all affairs in his hands. The dua of Sayyidina Ayyūb, he says, Rabbi inni masani ad-durru wa anta arhamur rahimin. Oh my Lord, indeed harm has come to me, and you are the most merciful of all those who show mercy. فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَكَشَفْنَا مَا بِهِ مِنْ ضُرٍّ. So we responded to him, we answered his prayer, and we removed the harm that was afflicting him. Sometimes, whether through sickness or through circumstance, we are pushed to our limits at an individual level. And this was the state of Sayyidina Ayyūb alayhi salam, with the sickness that he went through and with the circumstances that arose from that sickness. And there's no better time, whether it is our own experience or the experience of the people around us, to raise our hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and put our affairs before Him and to ask Allah for relief from whatever it is that we need relief from. And the du'a of Sayyidina Ayyūb is the du'a for the person who's going through trial. Rabbi inni masani ad-durru wa anta arhamur rahimin. Oh Allah, indeed harm has touched me, and I have absolute trust that you are the most merciful of those who show mercy. And we remember in this context the statement of Ibn Ata al-Iskandari, wurudul faqati a'yadul muridin, that the times of dire need are Eid for the people seeking Allah. The times of dire circumstances and dire need are in fact an Eid for the people seeking Allah, because those times bring them close to Allah. Those circumstances leave them in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that they know that they have nowhere else to turn. Yūnus ʿalayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَذَنُّونِ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مُغَاضِبًا فَظَنَّ أَن لَّن نَّقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ أَن لَّا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنتَ سُبْحَانَكَ إِنِّي كُنتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. And Yūnus alayhi salam, when out of anger at his people, he left them, and he left the mission that he had been given. And in the darkness of the belly of the whale, he realizes the mistake that he made, and he calls out to Allah, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. There is no God but you. Glory be to you. Indeed, I have been among those who wrong themselves. This is the time of the month that we ask for forgiveness. Every human being has things that they need to be forgiven for, things that there is no cure for except for istighfar. There is no cure for except for the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the dua of Sayyidina Yūnus is a recognition of his mistake, ዐalayhi salatu wassalam, and his desire to repair what has gone wrong. And so he calls out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, begging Allah to allow him to make amends, begging Allah to go back to the mission that he had been entrusted with. And indeed, he is among the most successful of the Anbiyāʼ in the response that he receives to his da'wah. And this is the time for us to realize our mistakes, to realize even the magnitude of our mistakes. As Rabia al-Adawiyya, she used to say, istighfaruna yahtaju ila istighfar. Our seeking of forgiveness requires seeking of forgiveness itself. Why? Because it lacks the depth and the magnitude of the sin itself. The state of somebody who is seeking Allah's forgiveness should be a state of desperation, knowing that they have nowhere else to turn, knowing that the balm that they need for their hearts is only found in Allah's forgiveness and in Allah's mercy. And the dua of Sayyidina Ayyūb teaches us how to approach these last 10 days. And finally, the dua of Sayyidina Zakariya, وَزَكَرِيَّا إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ رَبِّ لَا تَذَرْنِي فَرْدًا وَأَنْتَ خَيْرُ الْوَارِثِينَ. And mentioned Zakariya when he called out to his Lord, O Allah, O my Lord, do not leave me without heir, and you are the best of those who give inheritance. O Allah, I am calling out to you for offspring. I'm calling out to you for a child. I'm calling out to you for a son who will carry my legacy after me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ يَحْيَى. So we responded to him, and we granted to him, we gifted to him Yahya. وَأَصْلَحْنَا لَهُ زَوْجَهُ. and we made it possible once again for his wife to conceive. And then he says regarding all of the Anbiya, إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا يُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ وَيَدْعُونَنَا رَغَبًا وَرَهَبًا. Indeed, they strove in all that is good, and they called upon us in hope and in fear. The state of the prophets was a state of du'a, a constant state of du'a for the people around them, du'a for the guidance of their people, and du'a for, if we list them, Sayyidina Nuh, Allah's aid; Sayyidina Ayyūb, Allah's relief; Sayyidina Yūnus, Allah's forgiveness; and Sayyidina Zakaria, all those things that we might hope for from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of that is contained in the way the prophets made du'a. And again, there is no better time than these last 10 nights to pour our hearts out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to really speak to Allah from the heart. That's the best thing that we can do in these last 10 nights. Speak to Allah from the depths of our heart. We ask Allah that He enable us to do that. We ask Allah that we be among the people who He gives life to us, and we give life to our nights throughout these last 10 nights. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.